And I downloaded the app. I looked at that, and it's actually remarkable. It's amazing.
Oh, yes.
Everybody about the Elevate Inspirational app. First of all, in the mortal words of my mama, what the hell is
it? So, first off,
hold on a second. Aaron, if you don't laugh at my jokes, I swear. Telling you. That's what I want to see. Go ahead, Greg.
Well, listen, I have a question for you first. So you went to the App Store, you pulled out your phone, you downloaded it, right? So before that, did you write us a review? Did you give us 5 stars?
I need more. Hold on. He just came for the host. Now, first of all, everybody watching this show, this Greg was the one that was so nervous when we got on. On worldwide TV, he coming for us.
Listen, I just wanted to make sure. You said it was remarkable. I wanted to make sure, you felt so strongly. That
no, touche. It's a fair point. I have not written a review yet, but I promise you, if Aaron laughs at my jokes for the rest of the
Come on, Aaron, we need you.
I will write a good review. So tell everybody what it is, Greg.
Okay, so essentially, the Elevate app, listen, in layman's terms, it is your everyday partner, your advice, that person you have in your ear, someone to give you that extra boost if you don't have anyone around, or if you do have people around and you don't have the positivity around, correct? So that's essentially what it is. It's a community of people who are trying to better themselves, to inspire others through inspirational content. We have daily messages, self-challenges, and we also have a community chat in there where, again, you can meet like-minded individuals similar to what we did. And essentially what we did was took our lifestyles and turned it into one app. Things that we saw that helped us, become successful, things that we saw that other people needed and would ask us. And so that's essentially, again, what the Elevate app is. It's your everyday self-help guide.
Now, who had the original idea for this?
I say me. What's so funny about this?
I wasn't there.
I'm kidding.
You said it like me, right here. So, but Aaron, let me ask you a question, because I'm wondering, out of all the things the three of you might have created, out of all the apps you might have sat in some room, developed together, why this one? Why create an app that seeks to inspire people, to companion people, to journey with people as they move through one stage of emotional, psychological, and spiritual development to the other? Why this?
So why this particular app around wellness and mental health? So when I like to call, had our kitchen table talk. So when we kind of sat down and discussed what we wanted to do, we knew we wanted to start a business. We knew we wanted to make an impact, do something to touch people all over. So we wanted to figure out, okay, what's the problem? What people are dealing with? So we just started discussing things we're going through, and look, we were shooting everywhere. And then, we naturally would, me and Greg, we would come after work. I'm like, Greg, I'm so stressed at work. Or he would give me advice about relationship, or I'll talk to him. And it just clicked. Be like, why we don't make something that deals with mental health and wellness and things we're going with? So it kind of naturally just got there. And then once I pitched it to Dante, he was on board. And then we didn't really get that assurance until we started getting it in front of the eyes of other people. And we were hearing from them that this app is needed and you need to push on. So once we started hearing that, we're like, okay, we got something here.
No, I think that it's always better when what you're doing is connected to who you are and what you're going through. Because I'm a firm believer that you can't offer the world something you don't believe in and expect them to pay you for it. But when you do believe in it, the world will be the path to your door. And Dante, you started us on this journey earlier, but I stopped you, as is my New York way. Because my question to you, Dante, because Aaron gave us a 50,000 feet level answer, right? He gave us the sort of the high topography answer. I want you to drill down and go down in the valley with me just for a little while. And by answering this question, and let this question do its work on you. How did the development of this app relate to your story?
That's a really good question. So I would say the development of this app related to my story in terms of the highs and the lows, and developing the app and coming up with the app in our minds one thing we want to be intentional about is understanding that everybody struggles with different mental
I'm asking a different
components.
question.
Okay.
I'm asking you.
Okay.
Tell me about you started this earlier with anxiety, and
All right.
but I want let me give you my intention.
Okay.
I want the people who watch this show, who will now go to get this app, to understand that the men who created it didn't just give the world something to make money from. Something that they needed and healed them. And I want them to be able to understand the thing that sort of produced that midwife, the birth of this thing. So talk to me about your bout with anxiety, particularly.
Oh, you really meant it when you said we getting in the valley with this question. I love it. Let's get to it. So I would say my bout with anxiety and depression was really upon graduating from college. And I'm somebody who always had a lot of confidence, always knew what I wanted to do, always had pretty much my life planned out. And when things didn't go according to plan in my young adulthood, it really shot my confidence. I stopped believing in myself. I was nervous and anxious about any decision that I was gonna make, any move that I was gonna make, interviews, I wasn't getting callbacks. And I just got to a place where I simply didn't know where to go. And I felt as low as I could be. So from then, that's when I decided within my head mentally, it's time to make a change. It's time to do something different, because if you keep doing the same thing, you're gonna get the same results. So I was unhappy about being depressed. I was unhappy about having anxiety and low self-esteem. So that's when I started reading. That's when I started meditating. That's when I started looking up motivational quotes. And then reading, meditating, and looking up motivational quotes, the first thing that came to my mind was, this is helping. I'm making progress little by little. So, and Aaron could attest to this, I started putting it in our group chat every Monday. Just Monday motivation, 2 or 3 sentences about what quote I put and how that quote could help you in your daily life. And I was doing that, and even in the midst of doing that, I was still dealing with my struggles, but every week it seemed to be I was making a little bit of progress, until a good friend of mine told me, it's time to take this to another level. It's time to post this on social media for other people to see. And that's when those feelings of anxiety came back, because it's like, oh my gosh, what if I fail? What if people don't like it? What if people laugh at me? But then in my reading, my studying, my meditating, I came to a point in my life where I say, you know what? I got to take this step for me. I have to break through any mental barriers and fear I have for me, because my biggest fear is living a full life and then regretting it because I was too afraid to take certain steps. So that's when I started posting in social media, and I seen people liked it. And it's funny because the month after I posted my first video on Instagram, Aaron called me and said, let's do an app. So that's how my journey, brought me right to the Elevate app.
Yeah, I love that. Just either one of you want to jump in and say something after that?
Yeah, so just to follow up on your question, I want to take it a step further too, that how mental health has affected me and the people around me. So at a very young age, just to be personal, I have witnessed and been around people in my family who suffer from mental health issues. Unfortunately, a close family member had committed suicide, and at a very young age, I had to witness that. So at that moment in time, I didn't understand it because I was young, right? But growing up, those feelings start to resurface, and I just trying to understand, why did that happen. On top of that, I have other family members who may have some type of psychological deficit or some mental issue, and as the eldest of 4 brothers and sisters, you have to be the support that they need. So sometimes that weighs on you as well. People who are caregivers or take care of mentally ill or older parents that maybe just to care for them, it can be a lot on you. So I was feeling those same emotions around that time, and it was weighing on me. And also just being that saving grace of the family, the first kid to go to college, having high ambitions and high goals and not wanting to fail, you kind of develop this, high performance anxiety where, like, I don't want to let people down. So those combination of those things attest to, my purpose in mental health and what I felt going through it. And I'm sure the other gentlemen have similar stories like Dante expressed that can also relate.
You know what I love about that is that, Toni Morrison said she wrote The Bluest Eye, her first book, because there was a book that she wanted to read that nobody had written. So she just write. And in a very similar way, there was an app rather, that you wanted, that you needed, but nobody had created it. You decided to do it yourself. And that's what I love about this story is the inventive, sublime, improvisational genius of Black people to be able to say, well, just because the world didn't give it to me doesn't mean I can't have it. So Greg, let me ask you a slightly different question. What are you hoping will be the impact of this app?
The direct impact, of course, is to see, a change in every person. The type of, there's a stigma going around right now. Not a stigma, but there's people carrying a lot of weight on them, and a lot of negative weight. The way people interact with each other, the trash, the insults, the negativity you see on social media is number one. You can't ignore it. There's certain, pages, videos you see every day, and it's making people immune to like violence and negativity, not immune, I'm sorry, numb, because it's becoming a norm, right? To see certain things, or even to have, posts that are negative on someone else's success, raining on someone's parade. It's things like that the Elevate app, we want to change. We're trying to have people get back to a state of being healthy, being happy, and again, not carrying so much negativity or not having a negative view on things, number one. That's really the overall impact. And again, right? So back to the earlier question, right? We could go around on foot, yelling out our quotes, reenacting Johnny around. But guess what?
He's coming after the host again.
We need technology.
You take some, Greg. You better watch it, Greg. I'm telling you. Ooh. No, but I hear you. No, I think what you let me tell you what I think you've done is that you have created a counterbalance. So as people receive all of this negative energy, horrible vibes, videos of Black people getting shot running, that stuff creates trauma, and that trauma gets in your tissues, it gets in your fingers, and if you don't have a way to counterbalance that or to bring yourself back to the middle or to restore yourself, anything can happen, especially when you're quarantined in the house and you can't get out. So all you can do is be on your phone, on your TV, on your iPad. So as I view it, you've created a powerful counterbalance to what popular culture creates, which is craziness, Aaron.
Yes.
Right?
Exactly.
Laugh.
So Aaron, tell me, what are your favorite features on the app?
My favorite, so I don't want to be okay. So my favorite features, I think, is the elevate of the day, and the reason why I'm going to say that is waking up with an inspirational quote or message usually gets my day going. I'm big on reading. I love to watch others' stories and inspirational videos of other people's success. So that's what influenced me. It's been a time where I'm going throughout my day, and I might not just be my best, and I would get a notification on my phone, very simple but powerful. And it may be just that one thing I needed to hear. Also, the interactive community that we have where people can kind of provide their testaments, their life stories, advice on how to deal with certain situations. So that also is a very powerful feature in the app that I love as well, because it provides some insight that you're not doing this alone. Other people have been or may have championed that same problem, and it can inspire you to do the same as well.
No, that's a great answer. Greg, I'm gonna ask you this question, and I'm nervous about it. Dante, I'm coming, but I'm gonna ask him. With Greg, you never know what you're gonna get. So I'm gonna change gears just a little bit and ask about the dynamic of being friends and business partners, because I'm wagering that the three of you have some genuine tips you can teach people who want to go into business with friends, but have heard it's the worst thing you can possibly do, because of how it affects the friendship. Take me into that dynamic. How have you not poured hot grits on each other's big toe when you have to make tough business decisions?
I think, well, number one, you know, we remember our core essentials. We're friends at the beginning of things. You know, we try not to let things come in between that. And two, we respect each other's opinions, right? So I think given that buffer, and then again, back to just our natural personalities of being genuine, you know, guys who care about others and, you know, who, again, value others' opinions, it just makes it, I don't know, it makes it easy. I do remember, I will say, in the beginning, we were going to, you know, a different, like, few events, you know, workshops that were dealing with entrepreneurship. It was in the very, very early days. We go to these workshops and we were like some of the youngest guys in there. And I remember people would tell us, they would look at us and be like, you know, one day, you know, you guys, you know, just be careful, you know, going to business with friends. You never know what's going to happen. I remember we look at each other and be like, yeah, right, okay. That, like, well, we got this, you know, we got this thing solid, right? But of course, you know, doing business, you can see how things can take the negative route. But again, if you're cognizant of that, you already can see the pit holes. If you're aware of what can happen, it kind of makes you take a step back. So sometimes if we have to, we say, hey, you know, let's come back to this tomorrow. You know, let's take a breather, sleep on it for the night.
Yeah.
You know, and again, it's respecting each other's opinions. It's never a one-way routed thing where it's like, you know, my word is final. We all came in this together. We value each other's opinions. And again, just having genuine respect. We're respectful guys. And then remember, we're friends. Those are really the main three things I would say that's definitely helped us, you know, keep that fine balance.
And Greg, let me add to that. Who says business has to be ruthless? Who says it has to be some game? Who says it can't be collaborative and it can't act or function with an ethical mandate underneath it all? I got two questions I gotta ask because all the viewers are asking, you know, on the message board. First one, how old are y'all? How old are you, Greg?
26.
Dante?
24.
Aaron?
28.
So you the old man of the group?
Thank you. Thank you.
No wonder you don't laugh at my jokes. I see it now. Now, Dante, everybody's asking how they can get this app. So I have made y'all look really good tonight. I just want to say that. And everybody, I'll laugh at that. Okay, so everybody wants to know how to get this app. So please take your time now and tell them how to get it.
Absolutely. So if you have an Apple device, you can go to the iOS App Store and type in Elevate Inspirational Living, and the icon will pop up. It's a white icon with an orange heartbeat-like sign trending upwards. So you can go in the iOS App Store as well as the Google Play Store, type in the same thing, Elevate Inspirational Living, or just Elevate, and the same logo is going to pop up as well. And you could download the app to your phone. It's going to take quick amount of time and you'll be able to get started on your journey.
Yes, that's important because people are clearly wanting to get this app. I love the notion of something being dedicated to people being better and feeling better because I think mental health is important. But what I like about the app is that it's not just mental health. It's also about, you know, spiritual well-being and balance and inspiration. And I think that is, because when people say mental health, Greg, people think mostly of a psychiatrist, a psychologist, and tell me about your childhood.
Yeah, essentially, right?
You know, but what you're doing is you're bringing, this is my interpretation, you're bringing mental health back to what African people have always thought it was, and that is a community of people in dialogue with each other, pushing and motivating each other, in addition to whatever you get from psychiatrists and psychologists. Did I get that right?
Correct. Yep.
You're not going to elaborate at all, Greg?
I will. Yeah. You know, you did such a good job. You know, I was like, you know, he got it. There's nothing to say. But, you know, essentially, the app, I mean, you're right. Of course, again, so we take our own personal core values and wrapped it into the app. You know, we're three guys. We have our community. We were like-minded individuals, regardless of the environments each one of us was in. Again, like Dante said, he's in another state, but we would keep each other surrounded by a group chat and sending, you know, information to each other. So you have that community again that's sharing that, you know, positive information. We're very vulnerable with each other also, I should add. And I think that's another key component. Because when you're vulnerable, you give people the chance to heal you, you know, to hear your story. Sometimes that may just be what people need. So that, again, an inspirational content that we used to give each other, you know, now that we're funneling it through an app, of course, like you said, it is, you know, gone through, you know, actual registered psychiatrists, you know, people who are validating the information that we're putting out.